All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, August the 30th, 2022. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than the eating mofo, the beer samurai.
I'm trying to. Oh, hi. I'm just trying to toast these marshmallows, and because
you're toasting marshmallows over a candle.
Well, they're mini marshmallows. It's the only thing the bodega at the end of the street had.
So you got, what is that? A tea light? What are you doing?
It's actually it's a coffee milk candle from Rhode Island. I do miss Rhode Island. And
so there you go. So it's a scented candle.
It is a scented candle.
So you're gonna basically be eating toasted scented marshmallows.
Well, it's either that or do it right over the lighter. But then, see, and I'm too impatient, so this is what happens.
There you go. So there you go. So why are you doing that? Tell everybody, dude.
Because it's National Toasted Marshmallow Day, damn it.
Happy National Toasted Marshmallow Day, everyone. Happy National Toasted Marshmallow Day.
See if I can actually toast one properly without setting the damn thing on fire.
This is true. Anyway,
so we've started a bit late today, so we're going to actually just kind of. We usually don't do a bunch of shenanigans at the beginning, but we're going to forego that and probably jump right in, right, John?
We could do that. We have
one other thing. We have one other thing, and it has to do with our producer.
This is true. Let's throw that up there. It is Happy International Whale Shark Day.
Oh, damn it. I set on fire again.
Well, I mean, that happens. I don't mind that. Happy International Whale Shark Day.
Right. And
it is indeed International Whale Shark Day. And
Matt Patensky, one of our producers, has an award-winning picture of a whale shark. We don't have it.
We don't have that one per se.
We do have one, though, don't we?
We do have this one, yes, right here. There we go. This is Matt taking a picture. That's not Matt. That's not Matt. Matt is not wearing a white bikini. This is Matt taking a picture of a girl.
Actually, he might be right now. Oh, damn it.
Taking a picture of the whale shark. So
set it on fire again.
There you go. Well, nobody saw it because the whale shark's there and the girl taking the picture. So anyway, that is a whale shark, ladies and gentlemen.
So, it was a whale shark.
That is a whale shark. So,
the largest fish in the ocean.
This is true. So there you go. So anyway. Happy International Whale Shark Day on that note. So anyway, all right. So without further ado, should we bring in our esteemed guests for the evening?
Absolutely.
All right. Please welcome Larry Goldstein and Sharon Goldstein. Larry is the co-founders and Larry's the brewmaster of Spider Bite Beer Company in Holbrook, New York. Hello.
Hello.
Hey guys.
How are you?
It's great seeing you again. I was just there this weekend, and
I was going to say you. It's been a while since you saw them.
Yeah. Well, it takes a while to go see them because when you come from New Jersey, you got to go across Manhattan, get across Queens on 495. It takes forever to get out there.
No, it's an easy ride. It's fine.
Easy ride, yeah.
Easy ride.
But it's worth it. It is damn worth it to get out there. And the fun part is sitting there at the bar. Mm-hmm. Sharon's pouring, we're drinking, we're talking to this guy next to the bar, and then he gets up and he pours one for himself, and look at him and say, "Oh, I own the place."
And
we've been talking for about 10-15 minutes by that point.
There you go. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I had a similar experience out at Old Nation Brewing out in Williamston, Michigan. The owner, Travis.
Wow.
So I think it's Travis. Anyway, same thing. Sitting next to me, I'm talking to him for probably half an hour, and then I'm going to order a beer. He says, "No, why don't you get this one? I think you should have this one next." I'm like, "Have you had it before?" He says, "I brewed it." I'm like, "Oh."
There is a comment, John.
We have a comment, so let's get to the comment here. There we go. From Kerry Sorrentino. Hi, Sharon and Larry. There you go.
She's the one sitting on the other side of me. Oh no, she was sitting between us, wasn't she, Larry?
Well, she's sitting on the other side of you right now, is what she's doing.
No, she's in the other room having a martini, actually.
There you go.
So
anyway,
while she's having a martini, I'm pouring this beer.
All right. So while you're drinking,
I gave you that.
Yes, she did. That's mango blonde. We didn't have it while we were in the tap room, so I'm really excited to try this.
All right. I did. Is that what I think it is, Dave?
What?
This is Belgian quad.
Yes, I actually did drink that this afternoon at the brewery with Dave. So he brought it out there. So I have to say that was really good.
Yeah, it jumped out there, and
I really enjoyed
bigger beers.
I wanted to bring it out there because because Matt Patensky is a big Belgian beer whore. So figured, let's bring a quad out to Matt.
Right on that.
And how he likes it.
It's nice, a 95-degree day, 112 on the brewery floor. Let's drink a quad.
We shared it with a few other people who got quite warm afterwards. It was nice.
Yeah, a couple of brewers had it. It was they enjoyed it too at the brewery. It was nice.
Yeah, we had to jump into the tap room and cool off a little bit.
Tap room for you. I jumped in the cold box.
Yeah, we do that a lot.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's the mango blonde?
Yes. That's nice. I really should have drank some water between because I got marshmallow in my mouth. But
so you basically have a mango marshmallow blonde.
There we go.
That's not bad. It's always a good thing. Anyway, all right. What are you guys drinking? You're drinking the quad, Larry. Sharon, what are we drinking?
I am drinking Curbside IPA.
Very nice.
6.2%.
She only
I only drink. I'm a hothead. Only IPA.
There you go.
One of those.
There you go. Well, I had a couple of beers. They gave me a couple of beers, but unfortunately, because I literally walked in 27 minutes ago, they're not cold, so I'm not drinking them. But I do have a brown ale here, so cheers.
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 Oh,
all right.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. First question. Well, it'll be a two-parter. Larry first and Sharon, or either or, whichever you want to go first. The question we ask everybody, the question we start off the show with every week. To the best of your recollection, what was the very first craft beer you ever had?
It was Pete's Wicked Hazelnut from his. He would do almost like Sam Adams also did it, where home brewers could enter them, and then they would win them and brew them, and it was that beer.
I remember that. I don't know if I actually had that, but I remember the whole home brewers thing too. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sharon?
I don't remember. I tried to resist, but it was definitely.
Hers was probably actually Brooklyn Lager. Going back, I mean, it's
Or Stella?
it well over 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
She started with lagers, and then I had friends out in California, and one of them sent me a hoppy Imperial Red Ale in a growler, and we shared it with a bunch of people, and it was one of the best beers I've ever had, and that's when she fell in love. It was I forget who makes it all the time. Jeff Bagby was the brewer at the time, and now he has his own brewery out in California. But it was OG's. It was a little brew pub chain, OG's.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice. A hoppy red IPA, or it was red IPA or just hoppy red ale.
It was a red IPA Imperial, and back then Imperials weren't. It was probably like 7.5, maybe. I don't even know.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, some people drink 7.5 as a session now. So I mean,
right. Yeah. But it was purely like that grapefruity hop that no one ever, you would have, Brooklyn maybe had East India Pale, whatever they, you really didn't have that type of hop yet, back from the West Coast. Nice.
Awesome. Well, that's great. That works for me. Dave and I we've talked, just so you know, Dave and mine are the same. The first craft beer we ever had was Brooklyn. I'm sorry,
Sam
Adams Boston Lager. The first IPA we ever had, both of us, same thing, Harpoon. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. See, once I found out, about these beers, I started going to the local store. We were in Atlanta at the time, and the local store, it was a lot of imports, and then like the Sam and the Pete's Wicked, but then the alcohol cap was 6.5%, so no beers over 6.5. And then we had a local bar that had a map of the world, and you could pick beers from around the world, and most of them were like a European lager or whatever. But they also had, I guess, because somehow they were sneaking it in, they had Rogue barley wine and Imperial Stout.
Really?
So
Nice.
it was like, what? That's high alcohol.
I was gonna say 6.5% barley wine.
we had a beer bar like that, Strasbourg, called Floods, where they had the map and you can order from different countries.
Mm-hmm.
But they would get in, what was it, Elephant?
Yeah.
And Elephant had, that was one of the higher ABVs that you could get at the time. Yeah. What was that from? Denmark, I think.
Sounds right. Sounds about right.
I think about right.
Yeah.
But, so then once I found out about that type of beer, that, what is this barley wine and pure stout, I would look around and I found out New York, had like Victory and Weyerbacher and Heavyweight that's now gone. And
sure.
So my dad would get me all their barley wines, pure stouts, their Belgians, and ship them down.
My favorite heavyweight is Stick and Jab.
Yeah.
As soon as he said heavyweight, here comes the
Stick and Jab. So I stick. Yeah, I love. I'm a stick all whore. I am. I'm just. And Tom brewed a great stick all. It was so good. But yeah, I just been out for a while, and then he's closing Philly too.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Your Earth Bread and Beer, he's closing that too. So. But anyway, all right. So let's go back. What got you into this business that we're all in here?
Different stories. Yeah.
I've heard bits of it. So
I have the real story.
No.
So it all started because we were just window shopping in downtown Atlanta, and there was a homebrew shop, and it said, in the window, make your own beer, and I never knew that was a thing, and I thought, like, make alcohol, that's amazing. So we went in, and it was back then, it was those big cans of the malt extract, that goo, right. And it was just shelves of it. They all came from overseas, so they were all junk, and it was like, make a Mexican lager, make that, and there's no way to make any lagers back then, and I was just like, how do you make it stronger? She's like, put 2 cans in. I was like, give me 2 cans. And I bought the buckets, and that's how I started.
There you go.
That's funny that you started in home brewing in Georgia, the state of Jimmy Carter, who signed it in law, right?
Yeah. And so back then, it was a lady who owned it. She would find you recipes. You would go on the bulletin boards, on the old dial-up modems, and she would dot matrix print recipes, and it was a long time ago.
That's wild. That's great. And you did that for a while, I'm assuming, while you were in another life kind of thing.
So I did it a couple times. We were in an apartment at the time, and so then when we moved, I packed it all up and was just driving around the new area where we're living, and it was a homebrew shop, and I went in, and it was like night and day. It was, now they had grains. You could buy the grains by the pound. Like, you give him a recipe, he'll put all the grains together, and he had, live yeast and, not the powder and all this stuff. And I was like, get me a system. And he's like, here's the tech phone number. And it was basically his home phone number. You call him up anytime, he'll walk you through it. And then, he had a club. It was a pretty big homebrew club, so just started going to the meetings, and it was just a lot of great people. So I just kept getting further down the rabbit hole.
Gotcha. That's what it is. And what were you doing at the time? So
when I first started, I was in chiropractic school, and then when we finally decided to open, I was already practicing for about 10 years when we decided to open, and we were going to open in Georgia. The laws weren't great at the time, so we moved back. New York's home, so we moved back home to open the brewery. Gotcha.
Out in Long Island, where you are in Holbrook, that's home.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, Smithtown's home, but
Smithtown, I got you.
Yeah,
close enough. Gotcha. Cool. That's open. And okay, so now you're deciding you're opening. You move back. You're in Smithtown. You're in Long Island. You decide you're gonna open. When was this?
So wait, we literally decide one night in the kitchen. It was probably February or March, April. I don't know. We just 1990. The girls were 10. So 2007.
Okay.
we were in the kitchen, and he was like, he loved being a chiropractor, but he didn't like running the business part. And we were in the kitchen, and we were like, if you really want to do this, let's move home. We put the house up for sale. 1 month later, we were in New York.
Wow.
It was like that fast. Sold the practice, sold the house, and moved back.
That's awesome.
And then he wanted to do it right, so he decided to go to brew school first.
Yeah, I did the American Brewers Guild out of Vermont. And then when that was over, I went and interned out in San Diego for a little bit, and then came back.
Nice. Where'd you intern?
Lost Abbey in San Diego.
Well,
Just Lost Abbey.
This small place out in San Diego. You'd probably never heard of it.
Hey, tell them where you almost.
So I was trying to get, originally they were like, so originally I said either Southern Tier or 6 Point, and the guy who runs the school's like, no, go further. I'm like, Russian River, and he said, I know him. Okay, but that was their first. They were right in the middle of their first expansion, Vinny, and so he's like, he really can't do it. I could get you to Firestone, and I'm like, yeah, I love Firestone. That'd be great. And then at the last minute, right before I got an apartment, he's like, oh, you ever hear of Lost Abbey and Tommy Arthur? I'm like, yeah, and he's like, oh, it's available. So I was like, yeah, I'll go there.
There you go. And did you do any of the work on the other side at Port, or was Port even? Did they open Port?
So I wasn't at the time when I was there. If any of the beers were bottled for Port, it was done at Lost Abbey.
Okay.
But like the pizza places themselves also made their own beers. It's just the bottling side beers were at Lost Abbey, and then all the sours and all that stuff.
Yeah. Sharon would be more interested in the Port side.
Yes.
Yes, they had the IPAs.
They had the IPAs, right?
Oh, and I love their brown ale.
Yes. Good one. It's a good one. All right. So it's 07. You went to brew school. You get back after intern. When were you interning at Lost Abbey? What year?
Gotta be 2008.
8 or 9.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I could walk over and look at the certificate. I can't read it from here.
Ballpark is fine. We're not taking.
Right,
there won't be a quiz for our guests, for our listeners later. So.
Oh, one of these days, though.
They might.
We will have to.
You'll have to. Okay, so.
Oh yeah, so I was there the winter of 07-08.
07-08. I gotcha. Cool.
It was quick.
There you go. So, all right. So you get back and you're going to open. So how long did your process take once you actually got back from brew school?
We started up right away, but then my dad had gotten sick and I took care of him for a little bit, so it slowed things down. But basically, we opened in 2011.
Okay, nice.
Now, where did the name Spider Bite come from?
So we, I came up with a name that I really liked. I started making mock labels with beer styles and all that stuff. And I had researched if the name was available, nothing came up. And right before I submitted all the corporate paperwork, I went on, I don't even know if it's around, but Anywho, the website.
Yep.
And I put in the name again, and there was the name and a phone number. And I was like, what? So I called and I asked if this was the brewery, and the guy giggled and said yes. He was definitely in his kitchen. He didn't have the brewery yet. And so I hung up the phone on him, and now I was stuck. I had no name, and for weeks just kept learning out word after word, like anything. And I was walking over to my neighbor's house who helped start the brewery at the time, and I went through a big spider web, which I can't stand spiders, can't stand bugs. So I was freaking out because I walked through this giant web, and he started laughing. So I said, well, it's not really funny. I got a spider bite, to make him stop laughing. And then we were like, hey, that could be a good name. And
there you go.
And actually,
the way to do it.
The name was Great South Bay, which opened 6 months or 10 months before we did.
Yeah. They did open. So that was the name that they were.
Yeah.
Great South Bay. Yeah.
Great South Bay. There you
That's
go.
Funny.
Which we were at prior to coming to your place. Yes.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So you opened in 11. So what? So how big was it? I mean, how big was the system when you opened?
So when we first opened, because we had that year and a half, 2 year delay, we didn't even have the system when we opened.
Right.
We went straight to getting a brewery to make beer for us while we were getting our system.
That sounds familiar, John.
I've heard of something like that before.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to have a tasting.
Yeah. So when we opened, you could have a tasting room. You couldn't sell anything. Yep. So there was no reason to have a tasting room. So it was purely sell to stores, sell to bars. So
sure.
We started actually at Cooperstown.
Okay.
And
contract.
Yeah,
contract brewing.
Butternut. So butternut. We started
Butternuts.
Butternut's bought Cooperstown. So depending on if we wanted it bottled or not, that's the side it was on.
Yeah.
And then.
And when we picked our location, we weren't looking to have like a tasting room location. It was more like a warehouse because we couldn't really have it. So I don't know if we would have picked our location where we are now.
But yeah, so then we ended up at Mercury, Ipswich, Massachusetts. But then they changed the laws, so we converted the office and warehouse into a tasting room.
Nice.
And put a system in. So the system's 1.5 barrels. To go bigger, we definitely have to move. But as we were going through all that, there were so many breweries of every size opening on Long Island. It was almost like I could go down the street and do a 5 barrel, or I could go over here and do a 10, a 15 over here.
Sure.
So it was almost like I could move, or we could keep this and I could just go down the street. And so that's what I'm doing. So we'll do the 1.5 taste room only, and then
sure.
I'll go into Bayshore and do anywhere from 15 to 60 barrels and can it and all that.
That works. There you go. Yeah. Sure.
We also have 4 kids, so there's a lot of. I work a full-time job, so he had to help with the kids. So like it was a balance between taking care of them and running the brewery. So we were trying to keep it manageable for the 2 of us.
I got you.
And then COVID hit, and we were one of the lucky ones. A lot of breweries closed.
Gotcha.
I
mean, yeah. I'm assuming you said before the girls were 10. I'm assuming you have twins.
The twins,
yeah,
they're 25 now, and then we have a 22-year-old and a 20-year-old.
Gotcha. I have a daughter that was 10 in 07 too. She was so she's 25 now, and I had 28 and a 22. So, but so I'm with you. I know the balancing act goes, but that's awesome. Definitely got to get out there. Dave, I it's like on the phone with me until 1:45 in the morning, raving about place. So
much fun, such good beer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he is really good at what he does.
There you go. Let's talk about the beers a little bit. So, what are your flagships, and then what are some of the fun stuff you do, and let's just talk about it a little bit.
So our flagships definitely, our pale ale, which is definitely the heavier side of the pale. I did it because of one of my favorite IPAs or beers was Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Sure.
That darker, heavier.
Mm-hmm.
More, hops, more bitterness. So that my pale ale is more like that.
They use that good yeast too from
Chico.
From Newark. I mean Chico.
Newark.
But
another story.
And then our Imperial Stout is also
he's
one of our
known
flagships.
for his Russian Imperial Stout.
I mean this thing.
Yeah.
So this is how I came across.
Yeah,
10%. We went from just making it in the winter to all year round now.
Mm-hmm. So that's a you know what I mean that is a what's the word I'm looking for?
Beautiful.
Well, no, it does look beautiful. I'm just saying that's a good glass to pour an Imperial Stout in. I'm just.
I just one of these, which Sharon, gave us. This is
and
great glass.
That actually is my only beer, and we've made a lot of beers here, and that's my only beer that is a carryover from homebrew days.
Gotcha.
Really, and I love this because I love this particular style of imperial stout because there's so many ways you can go with it. You can make them sweet. This is one of those roasty ones. And it's not to me, it's not a negative term. It's more on I like. It's harsh, right? It's got that nice bitter bite to it, and I love these. And John, these are the ones I talk about. This kind of stout.
Oh yeah, I love a good big roasty coffee stout. Yeah, like coffee, not coffee, but
right.
Coffee
roast.
Taste
of like really like overcooked coffee and all that. That goes so well with a cigar.
Oh yeah,
one of these matches perfectly well with a cigar because it'll bring us
sweetness
out in this.
You know, I drank like Old Rasputin and
Stone
Stout and Victory's Imperial Stout and I just loved all those. So.
And we'll get into the name of this beer in just a few minutes when we get to our top threes.
Yes, exactly right. A little foreshadowing there.
Yes.
What are some of your favorite small batch, like 1.5 barrel batches you do like in a just very infrequently that you love so much that you look forward to? Well, I got to because maybe you only do it in December.
So a lot of them we ended up because a lot of people liked them. We ended up most of them went to full scale, but
he doesn't even do that anymore. Now he just makes them full scale.
Yeah,
gotcha.
But one of my favorites was I don't even remember the name. I have to look it up. It was a really long name from the lyrics of a Jethro Tull song. So it's so long the name. And but that was one of my favorites.
You're gonna have to figure that out and at least text me or something.
Yeah, because
I want to know. Yeah.
I'm a big Jethro Tull
Mother Goose. The song Mother Goose.
And I know the whole song.
But the bigger, I'll do a lot of big IPAs when 13%, 14%. Right. When I play around in the back. So those are my favorites, and they definitely, people like them. We try and make them, even though they're super high alcohol, we always go for drinkable. That's the most important part.
Of course.
Not everybody does well with them.
Yeah, drinkable is always a good thing for a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But but those are my favorite. And actually, one of my favorites is, and I haven't done it big scale yet, although we might, a beer club, like a beer of the month club approach us, then we might do it for them. But it's a 3.5% English mild, and it's so beautiful. There's so much flavor and super light.
When are you doing that again?
Yeah, when are you doing that? How are you packaging it? And how much can you save for us? That's what.
So we've only done the kegs, but like I said, I think around, even though it's going to be wintertime, around January, February, we might do like a 60 barrel batch of it, like big for the club. So we would pull some aside for us. And it's little, so obviously it's.
I could sit. I mean, there's a reason for it, right? But I could sit and drink an English mild all day, all day long.
Really
I was out. We had a guest on. When did we have him on? I guess it was May. The owner of Fred. It was Fred. From a brewery out in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, our town, right?
Lancaster,
yeah. And he made a English mild, 3.8% English mild. And when I was out there, I sat down at the brewery, poured me one, and then he poured me a second one, and then he poured me a third, and then he poured me. There was no reason to have anything else. This was perfect.
Yep, you were right. May 17th.
May 17th. Yeah.
Just like the virus.
But yeah, so. Robert Tars. Fred was Robert. Fred. It was Rob. Anyway, so if you do that,
definitely.
Well, and if you do it on a small scale and you don't do a large scale of it, we'll just have to come out to Holbrook and have it at the brewery. That's all.
Well, John, remember in October we do have an invitation out to Montauk.
That's right.
So we do have to go right past them.
We have to go past Holbrook to get to Montauk.
That's right.
Yes, you do.
Montauk's still so far past.
Oh my God, it's like 2 hours after.
I was going to say.
Yes. Well, we've got invites to stay over at a friend's house and to do the podcast at Montauk Brewing while we're out there.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So they're waiting for us.
The name of the beer with the Jethro Tull, it's I don't believe they knew that I was Long John Silver. And that's from Mother Goose.
That was high, right?
Yeah, high.
There you go. That's great. That's awesome. So, all right. So let me ask you. On that note, do you name a lot of beers after songs?
Just 3.
Okay.
And you had one of them today.
Right. That one.
I'm drinking one right now.
Ruthenia is for the, it's a Belgian quad, so it's for quad Ruthenia, and then Boris the Spider.
Mm-hmm.
And Boris, it was just so random. Like, back in the day, Imperial Stouts were called Russian Imperial Stouts.
Sure.
And so it's like, I need a Russian name. And, we already had Spider, but I was like, Boris the Spider. Like, it was just.
You didn't want to name it Svetlana?
Yeah. So it's perfect. Yeah.
So that's good. Okay. And so, Quadrophenia. So that would be a Who song.
So is Boris the Spider for that matter.
And it's the whole album.
Going back to the quad, and then I was getting there.
Yeah.
So.
And it's hard to say, but the label, we might have stolen it a little. But so on, they on the album or in the movie, he rides the scooter with all the mirrors.
Yep.
And so we have the little spider eyes in each mirror, and on the back of his trench coat is the logo. It's hard to tell where.
I guess. Oh yeah. That's awesome.
There we go.
I like it.
Nice.
and up on their board behind him, there's a logo for that beer, and it's the that what is it like? It's a RAF symbol that they use, the red, white, and blue bullseye kind of thing.
Yeah, with the male symbol.
Yeah. And
then the description of the beer, it mentions like some of the songs from the album, and it's signed by Dr. Jimmy, which was funny because John was trying to read the label out loud to us, and Matt was going on and on about something and kept interrupting him. So Matt wasn't really paying attention.
He didn't pay attention. He didn't.
I forget what he was talking about. He was probably talking about Tanzania again.
He was, yeah. He was my business partner in a brewery, and he's our producer on the show. He's what you call it?
We got to fire him for moonlighting.
He's moonlighting. He's like, so anyway, he was a marine biologist in a former life. So anyway, so he's been all over the place, tagging sharks and photography and everything else. But
I think one of my daughters is taking that class.
Nice.
Marine
biology.
Yeah, don't let her anywhere near Matt.
Mine? I don't know. I think one of them told me that.
Gotcha. So, all right. So my point in saying all of that and bringing that up is obviously tonight's top 3 list is basically we foreshadowed it. Top 3 favorite Who songs. Top 3 favorite Who songs. So we're gonna kick it off. Larry, please have at it. You first. However you want to do it. 3, 2, 1.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So
you got 3.
You want to do it?
My number 1. Oh, should I go for 3? Okay, I'll do
3
first. Is Join Together.
Okay.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Join together in the band.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Great song.
I had to listen on the way here. By the way.
There you go.
Great step, but she'll be with me in October seeing them.
Nice.
That was a birthday present.
Very nice. I saw them 7 years ago. It was the last time I saw them.
They're going to be on Long Island in October.
Yeah.
October?
I saw them individually. Pete Townsend did an opera of Quadrophenia at the Met with a real opera singer, like, I don't even know, 100-piece band, Billy Idol. Like,
that was really good.
It was absolutely amazing. And then the year after that, Daltrey did Tommy at Forest Hills, and that was pretty amazing.
Oh, wow.
Nice. That's pretty awesome.
That was like right before COVID a little bit. But
gotcha.
And then Sharon and I saw them in 88 at Giant Stadium, front row.
Okay.
So that was the last time she saw them.
Gotcha. There you go.
Yeah. And Whistle was even there.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, Rhino.
Nice. What's your number 2?
Number 2 is Slip Kid.
Slip Kid, okay.
There goes one of mine.
It doesn't matter at this point. We could just sum of that.
Yeah.
And your number 1 whose song is?
Number 1, The Real Me.
Okay. Wow.
I know he's left
Getting
out
some deep cuts.
Really, I
Yeah.
was a little surprised by that. But.
There you go. All right. Sharon, do you want to have at it while you're here?
I told him. I said, Sharon's got to have her own 3.
No, I'm not.
I told her to pick a new topic.
Yeah, I don't even know.
She likes Baba O'Reilly.
I do like Baba O'Reilly.
Baba O'Reilly.
That reminds me
Who
of
doesn't like Baba O'Reilly? I mean, come
And
on.
Eminence Front.
Eminence Front.
That's
No,
a great song.
Took one of mine.
And definitely does not like Boris the Spider.
No, I do not like Forrest. Maybe from like Tommy album, maybe one of those.
Cousin Kevin?
Cousin Kevin. Well, that's why
No,
I
not
almost
that
picked
one.
Bellboy.
Not that one.
Not
Yeah.
Bellboy either.
I almost picked Bellboy because I love when Moon sings in that.
Nice.
Oh, when they get a little out there.
Yeah.
All right. Dave, have at it.
These are really no particular order, but I will say one thing. The whole reason I knew about Spider Bite was because of Boris the Spider. When I saw...
How did you end up here, by the way? I forgot to answer that.
Oh, this... by car. We drove. No, it was actually targeted because I had seen the name Boris the Spider on an Imperial Stout a while back. I'm like, that's friggin' genius. And especially if you're into classic rock, and especially if you're a Who fan, I pretend to play bass every now and then. So this is a very heavy Thunderfingers song. And I could play a whole bunch of it until he gets into the 16th notes. I have no coordination to do the 16th note when he gets into it. So Boris the Spider has always been one of my favorite Who songs. Love it. So that's in my top 3. Love Reign Over Me.
Why? Seriously, you guys, please. Taking all of my songs.
See, John likes to go last because he's like,
I'll move some stuff around.
So he always loses out. This is on him. It's your own fault
around.
by holding yourself out for last. But my number 1, and I've always loved this song. I was a disc jockey in college. I was a classic rock disc jockey, and if you remember back in the day, there was a format in the radio stations called album-oriented rock, and that meant you didn't play the hits. And no offense to Baba O'Reilly, it's a great song, but I wouldn't play that on my show. Everybody knew that song. Right. I played deeper cuts. So my favorite song, I would play this not often, but every now and then, was My Wife.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah.
Oh, such a great song.
Yeah.
On the way home.
Yes, you got to hear that one. It's not about what you think it's about, but it's a phenomenal song. That's probably my favorite Who song, straight up.
Gotcha. Cool.
All right, John, what's left for you?
Me? Nothing, no. Because they haven't done any other songs.
There's a whole lot out there.
All right. Look, well, I'm going to leave my 2 where they are because they just are my favorite songs. All right. So I'm going to give a couple quick honorable mentions. All right. Pinball Wizard. Who doesn't like Pinball Wizard?
And especially when Elton did it. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It was very cool.
Whatchamacallit? Yeah, Pinball Wizard. You know what? I really... Just probably because of the early days of MTV, I got to see it like probably 3 times an hour. You Better You Bet. You know? All right.
But wasn't that just a Townsend song?
You Better You Bet?
No,
it's a Who song. It's a Who song.
It might be. They used to play that, Athena.
Athena's definitely a straight up Who song.
Yeah. I mean, whatchamacallit. And I'll throw it because it's not in my top 3, but it's I just love the song Behind Blue Eyes. I just love that song. But my top 3 are Squeezebox.
Okay. Fun song.
Rain or Me.
Yeah.
And Eminence Front. Those are my top 3.
Yeah.
Now, Larry, my first ever concert. I'm probably 15 at the time. My grandfather drives my brother and I out to, what was the stadium in Philadelphia? RFK Stadium?
Yeah. RFK, yeah.
And for the RFK Jam. So because it's in Philly, the Hooters opened up the show. Right? The Hooters opened up every friggin' show you would ever see in the Philadelphia.
Didn't matter whether you were singing a country act or...
It doesn't matter. The Hooters opened.
Or Motorhead. The Hooters were opening up.
I saw the Hooters like 9 times, once on purpose. But then after that, the who came on after that? Oh, Santana came on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there with my brother, and this joint just passes right past us, and we just like, okay. After that, the Clash comes on. And this was their first final tour. The Who was the headliner.
Right.
And that's when It's Over was on, was out. So, Athena played. One of my favorite parts of that was they start playing Baba O'Reilly, and they've got this younger guy on keyboards, and it just doesn't sound right. You can see Townsend just kind of look over. He just wanders over, presses one button, and now it sounds right, and walks away.
Right. There you go.
That's definitely typical Townsend.
Yeah, you screw something up on the sequencing.
Right.
Yeah, so I missed the Clash Who at Shea Stadium probably by 6 months, 8 months. I was just like borderline old enough to go alone. Yeah, I missed that.
Gotcha.
I didn't like missing it either.
I know. I'm going to throw one more out there only because and Dave will tell you, my top favorite band of all time is Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. I'm a Rush fan.
I'm a huge Rush fan. You don't like Rush?
I love Rush.
Oh, you love Rush. Okay.
So don't ask me questions because I won't know.
There you go. So, but The Seeker, because Rush did that one album back in 2004 where they did covers and they did The Seeker. So that was, but yeah, The Seeker's a great song too. So, I mean, what's not a great Who song though? I mean, you could just pick any three out of the catalog and say they're my top three. And
another song that I'm making on my show a lot was Bargain.
Yeah, I love Bargain.
Another great song.
That whole album. All of it.
Yeah. What was that? And both those songs I mentioned, My Wife and Bargain, off of Who's Next.
Yeah.
Right.
And I love that because it took me a while to realize that what's going on is they've just pissed on that monument.
There you go.
Okay. I was too young, didn't really get it at first. But
is Zach still playing with them?
He is.
He is. Yeah. When I saw him in 2015, he was playing with them. So
yeah, no, he still is. And for this tour, they have like an orchestra in the back, and
yeah, that's a great story though. I love hearing that. I love the first time I heard it was great. The fact that Ringo Starr's son, learned how to play drums from Keith Moon, not from Ringo Starr.
Not from Ringo.
He didn't want them to know the same style, so he passed them.
Send them over to Keith.
That's great. You go. Yeah.
So now you guys
talk to Uncle Keith. Let him tell you.
Now you guys are off to a concert tonight, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And who are you seeing?
It's a bunch of old timers. Randy Jackson from Zebra. Guy from Blue Oyster Cult, and another like local, been playing Long Island for probably 50 years.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave.
I was gonna say, so we've got to let our guests go so they can make.
Yeah. So why don't you go really quick? Tell everybody anything coming up during the fall or whatever. October.
Yeah. So this Friday is our pumpkin beer. It's
Imperial.
It's 9%, of course. It's like pumpkin glass at 9%.
Very popular.
And then the following week and a half, we have a Vienna lager.
Nice.
Our first lager.
I've got a Vienna lager in my fridge right now.
You do? Where'd you get that?
It's in a brown can. I got it at Bolero Snort earlier today.
It's a Bolero Snort beer?
No, it's not. It's a Coastal Brewworks beer.
Oh, that's right.
And then a week after that, I go to Munich for Oktoberfest.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
All right.
You're telling me.
I got to put up. I seriously, I've been saying this. I got to put up a graphic that just flashes jealous.
Yeah.
Jealous.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, all right. So why don't you guys get going? We want to at some point. We want to have you both back on. Maybe we'll set something up where Dave and I'll come out there and we'll do something live from out there with you guys.
Perfect.
Yeah, maybe when we're on our way out to Montauk, we can do.
It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. All right, but I look forward to trying a lot more of your stuff and everything else. And
thanks for having us.
Yeah, and I really appreciate.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on. It's great. It's been great. Yeah, I definitely want to try that. The quad I had today was so spot on. It was so good. And
we did also collaboration with Ghost out in Bayshore. So long story short, I needed the yeast for the quad. And so I was like, I can make a double, which we do, but I didn't want a 9% and 11.5%. So we made a session double, like a single double.
It's sitting in my fridge right now.
it's very, very related to the quad.
And it won an award.
Yeah, it just won a silver medal at the
it's back there.
It's open.
U.S. Beer Open.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah,
Congrats on that one.
And it's a Star Wars reference.
Oh, is it?
Well, that's not why I named it, but after I named it, everybody was like, "That's Star Wars." I was like, "It's a trap," as in a trap is stale.
Right.
But everybody, Star Wars, Star Wars.
Is it TRAPP? It's a TRAPP.
Yeah, the name is TRAPP. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's great. Awesome. Well, again, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate it. Dave, we'll hang out. So I'll do the. We'll talk a little bit more.
So
you guys go to the concert.
Viewers hang out.
Yeah. Yeah. You can stay on. Anybody watching? Larry, Sharon, thank you for coming on. We will come out there. We'll be in touch, and we'll see you soon. Yeah. Enjoy the concert tonight. Thank you.
Thanks.
You got it. Take care.
Bye, guys.
All right. So that was very great. That's the two of them. That's a cool story. I like that story.
And I
like that story.
I don't know if you caught it, but I actually did manage to get one marshmallow toasted without flaming it.
I did not, as a matter of fact.
You were paying attention. You shouldn't be paying attention to that.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, it was a lot of fun there. They had, obviously some locals in. This one guy brought his father in, whose last time he was there had this one beer. No, not the last time. Like a couple times back, I had this one beer. When he went back, they didn't have it anymore. She was like, I'm not going back. So it's fun. Finally got him to go, because I'm not going back till they get that beer back.
No.
But he got his father there. He was there while we were there. He was talking about it. They didn't have the beer back yet, but Larry did explain to him why they didn't have it. They couldn't get the hops. But he did promise him he'd make it again. So that's very cool. But no, seriously, I found out about the brewery because of Boris the Spider, seeing that name for a beer. And it must have been on must have been something on Facebook or Beer Advocate. I don't know where I'd seen it. But this was shortly after they opened. So I'm glad they survived COVID, because I remember thinking at one point, I'd like to get out to Long Island. I'd like to get out to Spider Bite. But I didn't know if they'd survived COVID or not. So I had to research to see if they were still open. And they were still open. And it's been, I don't want to say that their brewery space is a destination space, because when you think of a destination space for a brewery, you're thinking of something like big and grandiose, like Sierra Nevada outside of Asheville.
Sure.
Something along those lines. Avery space out in Colorado. These are destinations, but I wanted to go there because we don't get Spider Bite in Jersey.
No.
So I wanted to go try their beers, and that was our 5th brewery of the day. And I think as the breweries, it was the highlight. Awesome. And it's not just because we're talking to the owners of the place.
Yeah. If they weren't on tonight, and it was just you and I having a conversation about your trip out to Long Island last Saturday, you'd be saying the same thing.
I'd be saying the same thing, because we did a few we had a few breweries, and there was some that I was excited to go to, and they didn't disappoint. Root and Branch, we went to Root and Branch. Sure. We drank their IPA earlier today, one of their IPAs, Eyes Without a Face.
That was a good beer.
Yeah, nice, soft, pillowy, any IPA. It's what some people will say is everything wrong with beer today. But it was
I got a statement for that. Like, it's everything wrong with beer today done right.
Yes, exactly. That's a good way to put it. It's a lovely beer. So, but that space was a little. I think Spartan would be a good way to put it. It's a little. They got a nice outdoor space. And if you bring in food, you sit outside. But it was blazing hot. There was a dead pigeon in the parking lot. I don't know if it was the heat or someone hit the thing. That's not their fault.
You sure it wasn't just napping?
It may have been shagged out after a prolonged squawk.
Exactly. There you go. Fair enough.
Well, what's interesting, if you go to Root and Branch, their address is one street. Okay. And I forget the name of the street, but as you pull up, there's a sign saying Tap Room on Railroad, and their Wi-Fi password is Railroad, not in capital letters, and the street that they're listed on in Google. I forget what street they're listed on, but that's actually kind of funny. You've got to go up and around to get to them. Sure.
Yeah.
But no, that was cool. We did go to Great South Bay, as he mentioned, and the guy from Zebra, whose name was just already forgotten again, that he said he was actually playing there while we were there.
Randy Jackson.
Randy Jackson. So Randy Jackson was playing there while we were there. Ghost Brewing is right behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So you just walk around the back of the building, and Ghost is back there. The only problem we had with Ghost was, they're very kind of like goth in their feel.
Mm-hmm.
They've got skulls, and they've got Aleister Crowley on one wall. Kind of that whole kind of like the Raven feel.
So they're on a first name basis with him. They don't just call him Mr. Crowley. It's Aleister Crowley.
Mr. Crowley, very good. We just went Black Sabbath there.
There you go.
So we're
Ozzy, Black Sabbath.
Yeah. So but you're sitting in there in this vibe, and they're playing 90s pop. And
the goth vibe, and Hootie comes on.
Yeah, and no, not Hootie. You've got 90s and 2000s pop. So you've got Taylor Swift playing.
Oh my God! And
so you can tell that the 20 to 30 something beer tender is the one who's running the music,
programming the music that day.
Yeah, it's like that was the only problem we had there. Where else did we go? There was
Carrie just said worse. They were playing Kylie Minogue.
Oh yes, they were playing Kylie.
So she was right. There we go. Yeah. So it's 90s.
Yeah, 90s and 2000s. Oh, it was both. But other than that, I forgot. I thought there was a fifth brewery we went to. Maybe we only hit 4. Oh no, Destination Unknown. I
was going to say Destination Unknown.
Because I gave you the.
I was going to say, pretty sure there's a can of Destination Unknown.
They're known as Dubco, but they don't play dubstep.
There you go.
Actually, they were playing mostly 90s grunge and heavy and hard rock. So,
like Seattle grunge kind of thing, like Nirvana, Pearl Jam.
Yeah, and even extending out from there too. It was a cool hang there. A lot of cool puppies.
Cool.
Yeah,
very nice.
Outside, it was a Fischla.
Very nice. Very nice.
Carrie almost stole her.
Nice.
Peach. Her name was Peach.
There you go.
She was a princess.
There you go. All right. We got some good guests coming up. This is our last. I mean, I know summer goes on for another 3 weeks. Right.
But Labor Day's coming up.
Especially living down the shore, we have
local summer.
Right. Okay. But every year, I got to tell you, for the last maybe 5-6 years, local summer, it's been hot, and within a couple of trips down the block to the beach, with by the time we get to like the third one down there, it's getting a little too cool. So like every year, it's just like local summer. It's like it's not 3 weeks; it's like a week after Labor Day, and then it's a little too cold to go down to the beach. But 6 of one, half dozen together. So my point in saying this is, even though we have local summer, and summer technically goes on for another 3 weeks, it's really fall. It's September, right? Back to school, Oktoberfest, pumpkin beers, fall beers.
Oktoberfests are coming
on hard. They're, I heard one brewery released this week, is releasing this week, a Hefeweizen for their Oktoberfest.
Wait a second. That's for Oktoberfest?
Well, it's not our Oktoberfest release. It's a flagship release, but we figured let's release it. That thing. There you go.
Rising Tide.
Rising Tide. We figured let's just release it for the first release of it during Oktoberfest. That makes sense.
So you gave something a German name, and it's an Oktoberfest.
It's not. Yeah. It was just figured it's going to be a year-round beer, flagship beer.
Oh, okay.
But we had to pick a time to release it, so we figured Oktoberfest is the best time to release.
There we go.
It's a little bit better. There you go. That's the actual right there. So it'll be hitting some taps and store shelves this week. So keep an eye out.
As a matter of fact, I got to see. Where is it? I got to see this. These are the kegs all set and ready to go out.
There you go. Oh yeah, look at them.
Yeah, there they is.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
So got to see that today. I played hooky from work a little bit, so hopefully no one from work is watching
this,
because I'm supposed to be really seriously working today because there's so much going on. But that's all right. I kind of needed the break.
There you go.
It was good to see you and Matt and Scott and Bob
and
the guys from District 86,
District 96.
96. So that was a lot of fun.
There's a lot going on at the brewery today. One of the guys from Hayes Boys was there.
Yes. Yeah. He his boys is plural, but it's him.
So
it was a lot of fun.
There you go. But yeah, so a lot coming up. Keep tuned in. We're obviously going to have some good guests coming up. We got a lot going on. Well, yeah, we got a few. We'll make the announcement. Won't foreshadow it on the show, but keep in mind also we're going to be at some point popping up to Ramstein to do. A little live. Have the Oktoberfest. We might actually.
That's September 10th, isn't it?
September. Is it the 10th?
I think it's the 10th.
It's possible. So we'll
I think so. In a couple of weeks.
Further on, we're actually going to do the. It's probably going to be January, but we're going to do the Eisbach release. Up there as well. So
that's
but yeah, and then we got the Montauk thing, and
still got to do that.
These guys.
Thing.
So
I'll talk to my friend out there and see because I know. Speaking of Oktoberfest, October, I think it's the 15th. Yeah, the 15th. Carrie and I are going up to the Bear Mountain Oktoberfest.
Fair enough.
Just to get an Oktoberfest done. I do know that in September, Seven Tribesmen's got an Oktoberfest coming up.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Karlstadt Oktoberfest that Bolero is going to be at.
And that, get it straight, it's Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest, that's right. It's Oktoberfest. Yes.
Exactly. That's I believe that's September 24th, I believe.
And I think that's the same day as the Tribesman one, right? I think
it may very well be.
Yeah, I think the same day the Tribesman's doing there. There's a bunch going on.
Yeah.
And then there's the what's that Jersey thing happening down in South Jersey? It's not just beer. Everyone's been posting that up.
You're talking about in October, the Witchcraft?
No, not the Witchcraft. It's kind of like a Jersey made or something.
Central Jersey?
Yeah, that one.
Central Jersey Beer Fest. That's October 8th. That's Saturday, October 8th.
May not have been the one. This one's like all of Jersey, not just Central. Everyone's going to it. We'll remember it and put it up.
There you go. Well, fair enough. But yeah, so we'll post all these too. But there's a lot going on. We're entering, right now, Labor Day weekend's coming up. We're entering what I like to call beer season.
Yes, this is where it really. And don't get me wrong. I love my lagers. I love my pilsners. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that I love to drink over the summer, but John and I have a lot. We've got very similar tastes in beer, and the beers we love. Mm-hmm. This is the season that they start
right now. Yep.
And we are not talking pumpkins.
No. There'll be a few.
Yes.
Weyerbacher Imperial Pumpkin does make that list.
There's a few of them, and I'd be very interested in trying Spider Bites.
I would be interested in trying it
because it's an Imperial Pumpkin.
The Imperial ones that aren't just like smack you in your face sweet.
Yeah,
I'll drink a few of them.
Yeah.
So
and then
of course Warlock, of course. Whole hog and is my top three are probably Weyerbacher Imperial Pumpkin, Whole Hog. We've said this before.
Yeah.
For 2 years on the show, and it's the third time we're saying it.
And it's funny because because John and I talk about our favorite, how our top threes may change through the years. I don't think pumpkin ales will ever change for me because it is Schlafly, it is Weyerbacher, and it is Warlock.
Mm-hmm.
Those three. It's going to be really hard to unsee this with a nod to Punkachino. The only reason it's just a nod to Punkachino is because they got bought.
They got bought by some company that shall remain.
And then who made fun of that very beer during the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
After buying them. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, so acquisitions is not speaking to marketing.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
Great. It's like, wait a second. We just bought the brewery that makes the beer you're making.
I'm gonna actually, and I agree 100%, but I'm gonna talk. Let's think about this for just 1 second. So just in case anybody doesn't know, we're going back 7 years, almost 8 years ago. Okay. Mm-hmm. And Bud, Anheuser-Busch, AB InBev had acquired Elysian Brewing. Okay. Yes. Elysian Brewing actually makes probably about 12 different pumpkin ales every year. Okay, I used to have in a former life, in the bar scene, I used to have Elysian pumpkin tap takeovers where we tap 12.
Wow.
Yeah, and they go though. They would, but that was at the height of everybody wanting pumpkins too. Then it's kind of tailed off a lot. But in any event, what we're talking about is right after AB InBev had acquired Elysian, the Super Bowl 15, Super Bowl in 2015. Which we call it, during the Super Bowl, they put on a commercial, and I don't remember the exact wording, but they made fun of craft beer that drinkers. Is right that drinkers, but that was like pumpkin latte, coffee, pumpkin sweet, blah 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 blah. So they're making fun of a brand they just bought. But think about it; it's actually genius because everybody watching that, they're Bud drinkers, and
I don't think it was intentional.
I don't think it was intentional either, but it's unintentional genius. Listen, okay. Anybody watching that's Bud drinkers, I'm not faulting Bud drinkers. If you drink Bud, knock yourself out, have at it. But the Bud drinkers are going to say, yeah, we don't like craft beer. The craft beer drinkers, especially ones that actually like Elysian, are going to say, that's wrong. We got to go support Elysian. Either way, Bud's winning.
I don't think anybody went and supported Elysian after that. I think for the most part, what I saw on social media was people just making fun of AB InBev for being stupid.
Oh no, there was more of that than that. But I'm just saying it was unintentional, but it was to a point. It still could have worked to some degree. Look, they weren't going to sway anybody from not drinking Elysian from that commercial. If anybody was going to not drink Elysian, it was for other reasons, right? And anybody drinking Elysian isn't, it just made sense.
Which is a shame because I love Space Dust.
Space Dust is a good beer. Punkaccino's a great beer. There's a bunch of Elysians I like, but you know what? I'll still drink one or two here and there.
Toasted and not inflamed.
Toasted and not inflamed. Very nice.
Tell you one thing. There was one day I drank 24 different pumpkin beers at Cloverleaf. Mm-hmm. So Oli Rose is one of the main regulars at Cloverleaf. Mm-hmm. Anybody who's been there and drank more than 2 or 3 times there, eventually you're going to meet Oli Rose. Mm-hmm. I think on Foursquare, he's been the mayor for quite a long time. He got overtaken. But Cloverleaf will do every now and then when they've got a full takeover. If you get every single beer in a flight, they refer to it as an aircraft carrier. Right?
Yep.
And they did that when on the pumpkin takeover, you could get the aircraft carrier of every pumpkin beer they had on tap. Mm-hmm. And Oli orders the thing. And I'm like, why would you do such a thing? He goes, because you're going to help me drink it. I'm like, you son of a bitch. So we sat and drank all 24. It was 24. Yeah, 24 of that.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
It was rough. There was some where we're like, okay, that's not awful. That's actually good. And then there was some where I may have thrown up a little bit in my mouth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're like that, right? And that goes for a lot of different styles too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But for me, more so with pumpkin ales.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because you know what? Pumpkin ales were a necessity back in colonial times of the Bay colonies, because they didn't have barley, they didn't have anything to brew with, they didn't have their first crops in yet, and so they needed soluble sugars. The Wampanoag showed them gourds. So the first pumpkin ale probably technically wasn't a pumpkin; it was a gourd ale. And
keep in mind, though, back then that's what they just used as their grain.
Right, it was their soluble sugar.
Right. They weren't putting cinnamon and nutmeg and clove and
this thing must have been awful.
Right.
God awful. So they stopped making it for the longest time.
Right.
And it was Wild Bill's out in California.
Sure.
One of the earliest brew pubs ever.
Wild Bill's brought it back.
They brought it back on a lark. And it had a little traction until Sam Calagione won a beer competition with pumpkin. And pumpkin is he named it after this silly thing they do in Delaware where they shoot pumpkins out of air cannons.
Pumpkin chunkin'.
And so he made a beer in honor of that. And once that happened, we never looked back.
Never looked back. There you go.
It was just So while Bill brought it back, Sam Calagione popularized it, and now we start getting it in August.
There you go.
It'll soon creep into July.
There were a couple of years back when I mean they're obviously not tailing off, but coming back down. I'd say about 6, 7, 8 years ago was like the height, and everybody was making a pumpkin. Yeah. Where there was just so many of them, and that's when they were making them earlier. You could get Schlafly, you could get the bigger ones, you could get them in July.
Yeah.
So here we are, like 3 weeks after 4th of July. You're still in the middle of summer.
And still
technically not even reached the middle of summer yet, and there's pumpkin available.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Neither John or I will bitch if the holiday beers creep.
No, they come out now. I'm fine with that.
Especially if it's celebration.
I will take celebration right now. In fact, I might actually chill one off tonight and have it.
There you go.
I might even just do that because I always have. There's never a time at any point in the year where there's not celebration in my house. I have some of the beer too. No, I'm kidding.
There is something
right over your head.
John has hollowed out something underneath the house.
Yep.
And you go down there, and there's this vault door. When you open it up, there's just this light glows out of it,
right?
And it's just wall upon wall celebration.
Celebration, right? Exactly. Gotta love it. That's not too far off, but it's a little bit of a stretch, but not.
Yeah, he didn't do the work himself. He hired some.
I hired exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, the elves before they actually had to start building the toys, they came over and they helped me dig and we drank, and it was fun. It was good.
And that's why it took you so long. Dwarves are the better miners. You should have known that.
I know. I was trying to spread. I was trying to spread the work.
You're trying not to be stereotypical. I get it.
Exactly. But so, in any event,
all right. You don't want to be accused of being speciest.
This is very true. Very true. So, all right. So, well, we got a lot coming up. Pay attention to the website. Pay attention to the show. We will see you next week. Let me do the outro. We'll wrap up.
Here comes the outro.
We'll wrap up the show for today on that note.
Wait a second. Next week September.
Next week is September. In fact, 27 hours and 23 minutes from right now is September. But who's counting?
I am. I can't wait. I mean, August is a great month. Mm-hmm. Carrie's born in August, so it's a great month.
Of course. So
we always do something really fun for her birthday. Mm-hmm. As you all know, we were in Asheville for it, so I do love August. Mm-hmm. But I can't wait until we get into the double-digit number months.
Yeah, I still want a little bit more the beach and summer and everything else, and where I am now obviously conveys a little bit. But I'm ready for football. I'm ready for fall. I'm ready for a little nip.
Are you ready for some football?
I'm ready for some football. I'm probably not going to be wanting to be ready for some football about 2 or 3 weeks into the season, but
here we go. Couple numbers for you: 31 to 27.
31 to 27.
So how much is she lording that over you right now?
You know what? It's the preseason.
I know it doesn't.
A couple years ago, she would have been all over that, but she's like,
really?
Yeah.
She let you go on it? Okay.
But for a day. It was about 24 hours, and that was it.
Yeah, because the Jets, and hold on. Usually in a Jets-Giants preseason game, there's usually a season-ending injury. Did that happen?
Well, Tyrod Taylor did get banged up in the game, had to leave and go in and get and he had got an MRI. But we will see where that comes from. But I'm assuming he's okay because the Giants released Davis Webb today.
Okay, then he's
so if they release Davis Webb, I'm sure they wouldn't release the third string quarterback if the second string quarterback was banged up. Probably not a good idea.
Yeah, we still have no good quarterbacks.
Yeah,
it's going to be another long season.
It's going to be an interesting season, and I did buy myself.
Unless Danny Dimebag wakes up.
I did buy myself another hat.
Oh, you have another hat.
I know. I did buy myself another hat. This is for towards the end of the season when the Giants are out of it.
Tank, yeah.
Right.
Oh, so you mean by game 4? There you go.
Yeah, I got myself another hat. There you go. I've been wanting this hat since last year when they came out with it. I like the black background on the G.
It's a sharp hat.
Yeah, it's nice. So
you are going to take the stickers off it right now. Do the whole street.
I just bought it. It's sitting here. Okay. I didn't do anything. I don't leave the stickers on. I'm not that guy. So.
You've got to look up that. Oh hell, I can't remember their names right now. It's 2 comedians. They do like skit comedy. I can't remember, but they do one where they're making fun of how people leave the tags on them, and they keep wanting up each other.
Okay.
It's not Keenan and Kel. It's not.
No.
What is their name?
Keenan's been busy for the last 19 years on SNL. So
yes. What's their name? I can't remember their names.
Right I don't know. Anyway. Penn and Teller? No, I'm kidding.
The ones that get Penn and Teller. Now these guys both talk. It'll come to me. But you gotta look them up. They're the ones that did that whole thing with the East versus West college football games with all the crazy names of the football players.
I think I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of it.
Donkey Teeth and
so.
Mix-a-Plix.
There you go. Fair enough. All right.
Oh, Key and Peele.
Yes.
Yeah, I just Googled Donkey Teeth and Key and Peele.
That worked.
So
what did we do before Google?
We just went, fuck it. Who cares?
You forget about it, and then but you wake up at 3 a.m. I'm like, and remember it, but nobody's there to.
Sometimes,
and then by morning when you want, I got a text on. Hey, shit, I forgot. What the hell was it?
Again. Yeah, that's pre-Google.
There you go. Anyway, all right. On that note, we'll
we gotta get going because apparently your texts are blowing up.
Yeah, my texts are it's notes about the Mets Dodgers game right now. The score is tied at 3. It was 1-0 after the second. Well, it was after the first, and no score in the second, and then top of the third, Dodgers scored 3. So it's 3-1 Dodgers. The Mets have creeped back. It's middle of fifth right now, or going to the bottom of fifth, tied 3-3. So
we'll see how it goes.
We'll see. All right. We're at the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. For those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.loggerroom.com. That's LEGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media. It's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Logger Room. Remember, we go live with a video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night at 6:30. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, and iHeartRadio as well. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us.
Yeah, I just came up with a good idea.
What's that?
Or a very stupid idea. Me fill this liter glass with beer and see if I can finish it before you finish the outro.
We should do that. We'll have to do that. That's a beer chugging contest for Oktoberfest. We'll have to do that. We'll have to do that at one show. That'll be a feature that we'll put up.
But we'll have to have some. It can't just be me. We'll have to have someone else while you're doing the outro. That'll be two of us trying to.
Well, depending on who the guest is, if not, we'll have to bring either Brian or Matt on, or somebody. We'll have to bring if the guest isn't going to be participating, we'll have to bring somebody else on to have a beer chugging contest.
It's not even a chugging contest. It's just finishing it before you finish the outro.
Exactly. And if you both finish it before, then you both win. What do you win? Nothing, but
not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing. There you
go. It's just stupid fun.
All right. Anyway, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Ciao, everyone.